Hi friends, welcome back. We're going to do lesson 9.1. So we're going to start our new unit. It's on page 220. Question 1 says, divide each rectangle into two equal parts. Show two different ways. So one way might be to cut it right in half down the middle here, and another way might be to cut it in half the long way. Now, the second part says write a name for one part. This is the question that can have a variety of answers. You could write 1/2 with words. You could decide to write it like this with the number 1 and then half. You could also write it 1 out of 2 equal parts. And the most important part to remember here is that they have to be equal parts. The second question here says, write a name for all the parts together. So instead of 1/2, it would be, this time we'd have 2 halves. Now look at how I spelled halves too. It changes there. Catch that. You could also say the number 2 and then halves again. Or you could say 2 out of 2 equal parts. Number 2 here says divide each rectangle into 3 parts. Show 2 different ways. Well, I could go up and down. That would be 1, 2, 3 parts, or I could go across the long ways. 1, 2, 3. Write a name for one part. Well, that would be 1/3, using 1/3 using our words. You could use the number 1 and then the word third. You could also say 1 out of 3. And then we'll add equal parts. You can choose any of those. Then it says write a name for all the parts together. Well, that would be 3/3. Or 3 the number, thirds. Or 3 out of 3 equal parts. Oh, you guys are doing great. Good job, friends. Now it says pick one rectangle from problem 2. How could you show that the parts are equal? Well, I think I could do this. Let's pull up my text box here and see if I can type in. I think if I wanted to prove it, that they are all equal, I could I grab a piece of paper? I think I could. I could cut the rectangle into 3 parts and put them in a pile. Now, if I did that, once they're in a pile, they will be the same, what? Size and shape, because that would prove that they are all equal parts. Good job, friends. Let's go to our next page. Question 4 says, divide this rectangle into 4 equal parts. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Write a name for each part. That was similar, so we got 1 out of 4 equal parts. We could do it that way. We could also say 1/4, and we would spell it like this, like the word 1/4. We could also use the number word 1 and say 4th. Probably the most unfamiliar to us would be this one, 1/4. Yeah, 1/4. And that's when I think of 4 quarters and $1. Well, this is 1/4 out of those 4. Or I could write it also just the number 1. So if we can remember that 1/4, that will really be helpful for us too. Good job listening. Now write a name for all the parts together. All the parts together would be 4/4. It would also be 4 out of 4 equal parts. And it would also be, this is a new one for us, if it was all shaded in there, it would also be whole. Whole. Now number 5, Ruthie divided this rectangle into 3 parts. She named one of the parts 1/3. Do you agree with Ruthie? Boy, that's tough. That's tough. I look there and I'm thinking to myself, well, all of these questions had to do with equal parts. Are those equal parts? No. I think this part is much larger than these two. So when it says here, do you agree with Ruthie? I'm going to say no. And my reason is that the parts are not equal. Friends, you have been such good listeners and such good workers. So proud of your efforts. Keep it up. Thank you for your time.